As humans, every single one of us is unique in our own ways. But trust us, a small number of us are more unique than the rest. And here, in this video, we're going to prove exactly that. From a girl with a face that left people puzzled to plastic besties who didn't just dress alike, but they look alike, these are some of the most unique people you won't believe actually exist. But before we go further, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future videos. All right, now, let's begin this countdown with number 15. Sophia and Julia life is a super awful place to not have a best friend. And as the dear Lewis said, friendship is unnecessary. Like philosophy or art, it has no survival value. Rather, it is one of those things which give value to survival. Well, and Sophia and Julia took that idea and pushed it further than most people ever would. They met in school in Sweden when they were 6 years old, and from that day, they never separated for a moment. 20 years later, they dress alike, train alike, move alike, and even look alike. In 2019, they moved to Los Angeles together, chasing education, careers, and a shared vision of themselves. They started facial surgeries at 18, then fillers, Botox, and lips. One even fake signed papers so they could start the same day. Julia later had chin liposuction to mirror Sophia's sharper jawline. Well, that's not it, because more surgeries are planned. For them, support is almost non-existent, and online hate is brutal. Still, they keep going. The goal was never likes. It was sameness, always. And that bond hasn't cracked once. To number 14, Colin White. Colin lives without arms or legs, but don't for a second think he's lacking anything. He is known online as NUBS, or normally underestimated by sight. Colin was born with a chiropodia, which is a rare condition that stopped his limbs from developing. Still, he's not just surviving, he's thriving. At 32, he's a hip-hop artist and one of the most precise FPS gamers on Twitch. Based in Arizona, he tears through Warzone and Escape from Tarkov like a machine, racking up over 130 wins. I'm in the top 0% of Warzone, he laughs. And he's not kidding. He is not just good, he's elite. But beyond the games and music, what really stands out about him is how he's turned every limitation into fuel. He built a loyal fan base, a career, and a voice that refuses pity. His sense of humor is sharp. His skills are sharper. And in a world obsessed with ability, he quietly rewrites what it means to be powerful, with no limbs, but zero limits or regrets. Number 13, K and a Black. We are all a little weird, and life's a little weird, and when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we join up with them and fall in mutual weirdness and call it love. Dr. Seuss said it best. K was 68. A Black was 25. They first connected on Facebook when he liked one of her posts. Neither expected it to become anything. Slowly, a stranger became a friend, then her best friend, then something neither planned. With K in the US and a Black in Nigeria, distance became part of their daily reality. The age gap became everyone else's focus, 43 years apart. He was told she was old enough to be his mother. He didn't care. Black believes a prophecy foretold he would marry a white woman. Kay believes she waited her whole life for him to be born. Judgment never slowed them. Love didn't arrive quietly. It arrived late, unexpected, and absolute. And for both of them, nothing before it ever felt like this. Number 12, Olivia Farnsworth. Well, this may look like a superpower, but trust us, it's not. Olivia was born with a chromosome 6 deletion, which erased her ability to feel pain, fear, hunger, or fatigue. Once she was hit by a car. It rolled over her chest and dragged her several yards. Her family panicked. Olivia stood up, waved, and calmly asked what happened. Doctors believe her lack of fear kept her body from tensing, saving her life. But survival is only part of the story. Olivia never feels tired. She never feels hungry. And her mother has to force food and sleep medication into her routine just to keep her alive. Pain normally protects the body. Olivia doesn't get warnings. She once bit through her own lip and didn't notice. Injuries came silently. Danger doesn't register. Every day becomes supervision, structure, and constant watching. What sounds superpower is exhausting and frightening. Sometimes pain is awful, but without it, the world never stops being dangerous. Number 11. Caitlin Dobrow. Caitlin had just turned 18 when everything changed in her life. What started as a headache spiraled into bacterial meningitis, ripping away over half her skin and forcing doctors to amputate all 4 limbs. She spent 6 months in the hospital, 22 surgeries, an entirely new life. And yet Caitlin refused to let any of it define her. Through prosthetics, she found her rhythm again, not in walking or running, but in makeup. What started as a healing distraction turned into something much bigger. Today, she's a thriving beauty creator with over 240,000 YouTube subscribers and more than 135,000 Instagram followers. But numbers only tell part of the story. Caitlin's channel isn't about covering scars. It's about owning them. She brings humor, warmth, and fearless honesty to every video, reminding people that resilience doesn't always look polished. It just keeps showing up. She didn't return to who she was. She evolved into something stronger. The girl, the bizarre world counted out, turned her pain into power. Number 10. Madison. People don't always know what to say when they meet Madison, and she notices. She lives with a rare vascular anomaly that's affected her face and speech since birth. But where others pull away, she leans in. When someone stares, she doesn't hide. She waves. A small, simple wave that can light up her entire day if someone waves back. She lives by kindness, mischief, and the joy of connection. Her communication comes through any channel that works. Spoken words, gestures, drawings, or her tablet. It doesn't matter. What matters is that she's heard. Her days are filled with laughter, wrestling matches with her brother, and jokes aimed at her close friend. She shows off her muscles, like a tiny hero in costume. Madison grew up in an environment that mirrors her energy. We mean calm, bright, and endlessly loving. Madison isn't just adjusting to the world. She's shaping it. One beautiful smile, one wave at a time. Number 9. Aspen Wilkinson. You won't believe it, but a single afternoon changed her world. And Aspen was at her grandparents' house when a lawnmower accident cost her a foot. What followed wasn't just physical recovery, it was an identity battle. She underwent 4 surgeries, months of therapy, and one burning question: could she still chase her gymnastics dream? The answer, it turns out, was never in doubt. With a custom prosthetic leg built for performance, Aspen returned to competition, flipping, tumbling, and landing moves that many able-bodied gymnasts struggle to stick. Doctors once said she'd need a wheelchair for life. Instead, she soared. Her athleticism is undeniable, but her mindset is what really sets her apart. There's grit in every flip, grace in every landing. Her family believes she has Paralympic potential, and they're not wrong. Aspen isn't a comeback story. She's a reminder that some dreams bend but don't break. And she lost a foot, but gained a mission, not just to compete, but to redefine what's possible, one perfect routine at a time. Number 8. Shirley Alvarez. Shirley never fit the image people expect when they hear the word different. At 9, systemic scleroderma tore through her childhood. Skin tightened, joints locked, Within months, walking with help became full-time wheelchair use. Queens, New York turned into both her home and her proving ground as she learned how to live inside a body that no longer cooperated. Instead of disappearing, she built something new. She called herself the Tragic Doll. Well, not to hide, but to show what scleroderma feels like. Fragile, fierce, beautiful, and painful all at once. Her clothing, makeup, and presence speak before she ever does. When she rolls through the city, people stare. And the difference now is that she directs the stare. Her condition became art, then identity, then power. Shirley didn't choose this illness, but she chose the woman shaped by it. And that choice turned limitation into language, vulnerability into style, and survival into something unmistakably her own every time she enters a room. So, be always thankful. Number 7. Millie Marshall Kirkwood. At 5 years old, Millie Marshall Kirkwood learned her body was fragile. Marfan syndrome threatened her heart, spine, lungs, everything. Life always felt like it came with a clock, but fear never became her personality, even when the worst arrived. At 13, she lost her mother to colon cancer, the kind of loss that fractures adults. Millie stepped forward instead. She helped raise her 2 younger siblings. She supported her father, and she kept going while managing a condition that could turn fatal without warning. Her strength never announced itself. It lived in routines, responsibilities, and quiet endurance. There were hospital visits, painful days, and nights that didn't resolve cleanly. Still, she chose presence. She chose effort. She chose to stay. Millie's courage isn't dramatic. It moves through sacrifice and steadiness, through homework and heartache, through being young while carrying what most never should. Some of the strongest people on earth don't wear armor. They carry backpacks and entire families. Number 6. Dean Bevan Well. Life pulls people towards strange comforts. Some chase speed, some chase romance. Dean Bevan found his in silicone and shutter clicks. At 66, and this retired psychiatric nurse from Ipswich spends his days photographing 12 dolls he calls his muses. He applies their makeup, chooses their clothes, stages scenes throughout his home. The fascination started after watching Humans, a series about synthetic beings. Curiosity became commitment. His first doll, Sarah, a blonde with a 30DD bust, arrived soon after. Dean insists it isn't just sexual. Some dolls remain dressed, posed like living sculptures. But Sarah is different. She shares his bed. To him, this world isn't disturbing. It's creative. It's controlled. It's companionship without argument or rejection. While others pass time in pubs or in front of televisions, Dean curates stillness and fantasy. Many call it bizarre. He doesn't. He calls it peace. 12 silent figures, a camera, and a life shaped around imagination instead of loneliness. Now, let's head over to number 5. Joe Well. First of all, he isn't bizarre. Joe lives with fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, FOP, a disease that turns muscle into bone after trauma, a fall, a bruise, even surgery. Each injury hardens him permanently. He's 32. He's never been kissed, and he speaks honestly about how isolating this life becomes. His shoulders froze at 4. His elbows are 8. Scoliosis appeared in puberty. Walking disappeared by 18. 5 years were spent in bed. He didn't skip grief. He lived inside it. He screamed. He questioned. Not because answers were coming, but because sometimes that's survival. X-rays show extra bone threading through his body like scaffolding. The pain, he says, is immeasurable. Still, he stretches. He fights atrophy. And he meets each day without softening the truth. Joe doesn't sell hope. He lives in reality. This isn't inspiration, it isn't a transformation, it's endurance, raw, uncomfortable, and unflinchingly brave. Number 4. Britney spent 30 years trying not to be seen. Crowds made her nervous, mirrors worse. Even doctors turned her away, too intimidated by what they didn't understand. Her body is covered in thousands of tumors, painful, disfiguring growths caused by neurofibromatosis type 1. Every day is a fight. She's a mom of 2. She's been mocked, gawked at, and humiliated. But finding Dr. Sandra changed everything. For the first time, someone looked at her and saw a person, not a case. Surgery wasn't just physical. It was about reflection. Each tumor removed gave her more of herself back. Britney began standing straighter. She's smiling wider, reclaiming space she once avoided. Her condition didn't vanish. The stares didn't stop. But something shifted. She stopped internalizing them. She's not a diagnosis. She's not a before photo. She's a woman who fought her way back to her own face, her own identity, and now she's not hiding from anyone. Number 3. Carly Findlay. Carly doesn't want sympathy. She wants you to say hi. That's it. She lives with ichthyosis, a rare skin condition that makes her appearance different. But the difference isn't the issue. It's how people react. Stares, assumptions, and questions that don't need to be asked. Carly used to avoid the word disabled because she thought it meant broken. Now, she claims it openly because it means community, not shame. Her work as a writer and advocate challenges how we talk about differences. And her memoir, Say Hello, isn't about inspiration. It's about recognition. She wants kids to grow up seeing people like her and not looking away. Disability to Carly isn't something tragic. It's a part of identity, like gender or race. She speaks loudly, lives visibly, and fights for a future where people stop treating difference like something to fix and start seeing it as something to understand. Number 2. Roger, 43 years with rhinophyma. Now, this is weird. Roger lived 4 decades trapped behind his own face. It started as a pimple, just one. Then the swelling spread, skin thickened, tumors grew. His nose slowly disappeared beneath folds of misshapen tissue. For 43 years, he lived with undiagnosed rhinophyma, a rare skin disorder that transformed him into a stranger in his own skin. People stared, children whispered, breathing, eating, sleeping. It all became hard. His condition didn't just distort his face, it isolated him from life. Doctors shrugged. No one had answers. Until finally, a specialist diagnosed him and removed the growths. After so long, it wasn't just physical healing, it was emotional. For the first time in years, Roger could see his reflection without flinching. He's still adjusting. After decades of being looked at, he's relearning how to be seen. Slowly, yes. But for a man who disappeared for so long, that kind of visibility is everything. Number 1. The man with a horn. Back in 2019, 75-year-old Shyam Lal Yadav made headlines when something unexplainable began growing from his head. It wasn't a lump, it wasn't hair, it was a horn. For years, his barber trimmed it casually until it grew into a hardened 4-inch cone. Eventually, Yadav visited Bhagyodaya Tirth Hospital. Tests showed the growth hadn't pierced his skull. It was a cutaneous horn caused by a keratin buildup, the same protein in nails and hair. It's rare, but not unheard of. Usually linked to sun exposure and age, these horns can be harmless, or something worse. About 20% are cancerous. Another 23% come from precancerous cells. Fortunately, Yadav's was benign. Surgeons removed it safely and sent it for study. Though painless, the horn was a symbol of how bizarre the human body can be, and how easy it is to overlook warning signs until they grow too large to ignore. His case is one of the strangest ever seen. If you found this video interesting, please like it and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you soon.